Hello ladies and gentlemen, a quick look through the UK Railway Datafile 2020 June edition. The book has remained relatively unchanged for the last few years as the format now is in a good working order. Locos, diesel units, electric units, coaches, trams and underground in Chapter 1. Chapter 2 you'll see preserved locomotives, preserved steam locomotives, preserved units, preserved coaches, preserved trams and preserved underground. Chapter 3 is our industrial section. That includes diesel, electric and petrol and steam. Chapter 4 is wagons. We have the engineer's fleet including track machines, private owner in the 4 and 5 digit categories, air braked stock in the 6-digit format, the RIV UIC stock which is long numbered, typically works abroad and across the UK. We've got our preserved wagons, preserved engineers including cranes, and our internal user and extant list on the main line still, so typically in freight yards. And section 5 is our reference codes. You'll notice that the website here, ukdatafile.com, is probably where you're viewing this from. If you're watching this on YouTube, please feel free to have a visit to the website. There is an updates page. This can be accessed at any time and is typically updated towards the middle of each month, and you can purchase a password key for anywhere up to £5. It is pro rata per 3 months, so if you're 3 months already into the year you can purchase a key for £3.75. If you're 6 months into the year it's £2.50, and 9 months into the year it's £1.25 for the remainder of the year. Looking at Chapter 1, we've updated the front cover with a few images just to keep it fresh. Just have a quick look to see what this looks like. So we have our class number on the left, the locomotive's number, any previous numbers it had, its former D number, the colour scheme. Now bear in mind that this just doesn't say Virgin East Coast or Avanti West Coast. I've tried to detail it as best as I can by putting, for example, dark grey with red soul bar, BR black. The owner or operator, depending on which section you are looking in, will be listed here. So TTL, ALST, LNW, so things like London North Western, Alstom and Traditional Traction Limited. The location where you're most likely to find this is also listed here. So Neville Hill TMD, Atro Recycling Doncaster, etc. The current status of the locomotive, which R for repairs, A for active, W with withdrawn, I is internal user. There are a few others you may find dotted throughout the book. Q means awaiting decision on the item, or awaiting disposal or delivery. S is a static display item which you typically find in the preserved section. M is main line, so that's preserved items that are registered for use on the main line. And there are maybe 1 or 2 others, but they'll be listed in the reference section. Also any names or notes, typically in section 1 you'll find just names, and in section 2 you're going to find names and notes about things, for example, no paint scheme or quite rusted, etc, etc. Quick look at the Eurotunnel locomotives before we turn over. Diesel multiple units, you'll see how these are updated as to the 10th of June, just like the rest of the book. And you'll find many of the Class 142s, for example, to be missing from this section. They are indeed either scrapped or preserved. Anything that's been taken to a scrapyard is immediately removed from the book. If it's then sold on from there, it can be put back in under preserved section or back to main line. Electric multiple units, they all follow the same format really. The thing with the units is they also have their coach numbers, so if you only pick up 1 or 2 coaches off the side of a train and you're looking to find which one it is, have a look in your book and you say, for example, 67810, you can look that up there and you'll see that what you saw was 375610. The electric multiple section is quite a large book. Some are yet to have their coaching numbers released, for example the Class 720/6s for C2C. They have only just been ordered recently, and as such no coaching numbers have been given out. Now you could make fair presumptions on them, say 450 201, but it would be unfair to presume as these numbers could change. I will add them to the update section on the website as soon as I can. Coaching stock has been updated. As you'll see, a lot of the Mark IIIs and now HST stock is missing. That's because most of these have been scrapped, with the odd few here preserved. I've tried to update the locations as best as possible. So as you'll see, Haymarket, Craig-and-Tinney, some still at Plymouth, and you'll also find some stored at Ely and Long Marston. Moving on. Looking at now the preserved section. So the preserved is the same, just mirrored. So a quick look here, you'll see that these are listed in number order. It does change very shortly, and I'll explain why. And I've also put in the wheel set formation, should there be an issue there. If you can think of something better to put in this column, please let me know, and I can make a decision. Steam again is now listed by location rather than number. This is because a lot of the stock holds the same number. Example, number 1. Here we can see it twice. A lot of the stock can be listed as either pre-nationalisation number, nationalisation, grouping numbers. They can become very confusing, so they are listed by location. Makes it easy for you to find. However, if things get moved, I'll do my best to stay on top of it, but you feel free to message me via the Facebook page, via the website, or the email address in the front of the book. Contact me, let me know. I'm never gonna be snappy back to you. I'm always appreciating the information provided by yourselves, because you help make this book. Multiple units are listed by coach number. Former unit numbers are listed here, as a lot of the stock doesn't carry unit numbers anymore. Some never used to. Preserved coaches, again, these are mirrored in the same of the location format. Appleby, Ashton, Avon, etc., etc. All listed in alphabetical order. If you're struggling to find a coach and it is at an obscure location, for example, a restaurant, drop us a message. I can then auto search the book using the spreadsheets to find that one, and I can tell you what the location is called. Most are self-explanatory, but if you are getting stuck, please feel free to get in touch. Moving on to preserved trams. This format is built for, so Aberdeen District Railway, Southampton Corporation Railway, for example. The power can be horse or motor, the type open or enclosed, and the deck single double. This may help you to identify certain pieces of kit that are maybe stored across the yard. You're unable to get a number, but you can see that it says, for example, Sunderland Transport, and it is a enclosed double deck. Then you're able to identify what that number was. Preserved underground is listed at section 2.6. Then we're into chapter 3, which is the industrial stock. So this is both mainline and preserved that you'll find here. So mainline being mostly internal user systems like Scunthorpe Steelworks, Cardiff Seltzer. You will find everything that you need for sections 3.1, 3.2 here, again listed in location order. Works number is typically listed at the front, with the running number also applied. Works number you're most likely to find on a plate. Sometimes they are stuck onto the wagon, onto the loco as stickers as well, typically like wagons and locomotives. However, most will just carry a works number. Industrial steam format is the works number, any running number, the wheel set formation, because this can be quite critical when trying to identify certain wagons. If it was a 4 or 6 wheeler steam engine. The builder, location, last known, status and names or notes. And then we move into the wagon section. This is one of the largest independent section in the book, closely followed by the EMUs in section 1, and section 1 completely. So this is the largest chapter. So you can see a nice selection of mainline preserved wagons here and engineers stock, just to identify what to expect in this chapter. So things like our track machines, DR for example, what type of track machine it is. It's quite technical data, but however it is there for you to reference should you be into that, or you just want a reference for your records. Tops code here on in between as well. Then we move into private owner wagons. These numbers are separated by typically a line, just to help you identify, for example, number by number, especially when you're out and about. The book has been updated recently with a few extra numbers, a few removed, a few added, so please check the updates section to find out what's gone in, what's come out. We've also got our technically classed as private owner because it's London Underground stock, London Underground wagon fleet list as well. You'll also find a lot of Irish, that's both Northern Ireland and Republic of Ireland stock in this book as well. For example here, Limerick, ballast pocket wagons and ballast wagons, etc. They're all listed at the end of every section. These are our air brake series, they're typically 6 digits. And at the end of this section as well, you will find your internal user stock for Cardiff, Scunthorpe Steelworks, etc. RIV numbers. The class header is listed at the top, so 33684943. Any technical data about the wagon that is known and where it was built. And then your last 4 digits, which are your most identifying keys. So 33684943 059-8. Preserve wagons, a very large section, approximately 50 pages. Same with the preserve coaches, they're quite 2 long sections. Because there is so much, it has been listed in single line format by location. So as you can see here, I've done my best to identify locations. Any known numbers. What type it is, so bogie flat, 4-wheel ventilated van, location, any class identifiers as well, so you may know it as a Lomac, a Weltroll, Flutroll, Mullet, or Vanfit. You will find all that data here. Most of these are, well, if not all of these, will be notes. Not many wagons, if any, are named. Now, final 2 sections of the book will be 4.6, which is our engineers section. As you can see, the preserved wagons is a very long section. So our preserved engineers, cranes, ballast wagons, trolleys, Wickham, personnel trolleys, etc. And other things as well, jeep trolleys, overhead work trolleys, platform lifts. Anything that is or was registered from the main line, or obviously you'll find that here. I've done my best to keep this book as up to date as possible. Section 4.7, our internal user wagons. We've had a few moved around recently after the book was printed, just a few for Immingham. So please feel free to log on to the updates page on the middle of July to see those updates. Final section is your reference. So you have your coach codes, operator codes, which is very handy if you are struggling to identify what I've written. FLYD, for example, Floyd Zert. That is for exported 86s, 87s, for example. SET, Southeastern Trains, so there's your multiple units. ScotRail, so your HSTs, multiple units, etc. Your MXA dual number table, because the MXA wagons were not converted in number order due to them being converted from former steel wagons, you will find their RIV number on the left and their former air braked rolling number on the right, separated by a line, giving you the next column for then RIV and air brake. You've also got lettering codes for coaches. So you might see, for example, FK, so you know that it's a first class corridor. You may see something else. SO, standard open. You can look at the codes here, and any prerequisites will be listed. For example, when following R, K means kitchen. Status codes, so here we go. Active in regular use. E is awaiting export. I, internal user. M is mainline preserved. Q, awaiting delivered or awaiting disposal. R is under repair. S, preserved static, unable to work under own power, typically for display. And W, withdrawn, stored, no immediate plans for you, awaiting business decision or disposal. If you do have any questions regarding the book, or you'd like to see find out any more information, you are welcome to contact me through the website www.ukdatafile.com. The 2021 edition will be released in November, and only do them in small batches, as this is a business that runs solely from my own pocket, and I can't afford to order large quantities. So if you would like a copy, please jump onto the website. If there's none in stock, contact me. I'll be able to advise you when they'll be next in stock. Although at the time of this video, there are stock available on the website. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please contact me.